Good morning. Let us open in prayer. We say thank you, living, loving Spirit, for this day, for this community, for the love that continues to flow in and through each of us. Blessing ourselves, our family and friends, and the greater community. We truly are the best spiritual community in Boylan. We continue to let our light shine, carrying us forward into that new day in each and every moment of our lives. And so it is. Amen.
Please stand and join us as we sing our opening song, Come On In.
Welcome to Unity of Louisville. My name is Raamesie Umandavi, longtime member here, also new board of trustees member. So glad that you are with us this morning. I'm a servant, I'm a volunteer. We have a number of volunteers here that help make church happen. We come together for an hour or so, but it takes work during the week and a lot of work behind the scenes to make this happen. And so we usually have our songs and our lyrics on our PowerPoint on the wall, but technology is not cooperating with us this morning, so they're busy trying to address it. We're having a lot of technology issues. Also understand that we don't have our sound booth working, so we are live streaming right now on Facebook. So we just want to be mindful that it's going, without our sound booth, it's going to pick up everything that we're doing and saying, so it won't be massaged through the sound this morning. And our PowerPoint decided to update on its own. Everything's happening. But we know that God is omnipotent. We know that the power of God is everywhere, equally present, technology or no, because God was before the internet, right? So before stuff worked, even before we had the fancy PowerPoint and the fancy sound and cameras and live streaming, we came together in fellowship, we came together in worship, and we came together as a community. So that's what we're doing today. I'm so glad that you all are here. So glad you're here. Something's working. All right, so this morning we have John Spencer on piano, our music director, Phillip Crowther, our lovely song leader, Robin Gooden. Thank you, Robin. Our special music today is Robin and Jane Holiday. Welcome, Jane. I'm so glad you're here. John.
All three of us.
Oh, we have a little musical thing here. Looking forward to it. So special music today will be John, Robin, and Jane Holiday. And then we also have, I'm getting to it. We have Tom Isaacs that's going to be blessing us with the crystal bowls today. Thank you, Tom, for being here. It's been a while since we've been able to have that. I so love it. So matching Tom with Reverend Gerry Boylan, who's giving the talk and the meditation today. Ooh, excited about that. So also thank you to Sabrina, to Reverend Valerie, to Robert. We have Melvin that was our greeter today. Also Gary Haynes. All the people that are here. All the people. So welcome today. So, as we're welcoming, do we have any first-time guests here? Anybody here for the first time? Anybody joining in on live stream for the first time? Feel free to put in your chat your name or welcome or something, and the other people who are viewing through live stream can greet you. So I guess we are old regulars, aren't we? All right. So again, you're welcome to, if you feel comfortable to. If you feel comfortable, you're welcome to stand and greet each other or wave or however you feel comfortable to greet each other this morning. I've done this enough. I don't usually, but today I was expecting to do the second half, and I'm doing the beginning. So I just want to make sure that I'm following Spirit and that I'm going with the flow, and that we're still worshiping together. So I have us with the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we're ready for. So we're going to move now into just a meditative part of our service where we can center ourselves and become grounded. And we're going to enter into that with the Lord's Prayer. And we're going to follow with a moment of silence with our oneness blessing givers that are in the room and maybe not physically here, our prayer chaplains. And then if we have any of those people online that are going to be holding the watch for us, holding that space of consciousness and that sacred space for us during our worship time. Thank you. So if you're welcome to stand.
Our Creator, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
And so it is. A reading from the Daily Word today, July the 18th. The word today is realize. I realize the power of spirit truth. I have had many aha moments throughout my life, and something that had befuddled me for years suddenly became clear. I may have been something I tried to learn in school, a skill I practiced and tried to master as I grew, or even an idea that challenged my understanding of the world around me. Whenever I realized something new, I could feel my world expanding, opening up before me in fresh and exciting ways, making me eager to discover even more. On my spiritual journey, I feel a similar excitement as I realize I have so much more than a spark of divinity within me. I am fully divine, just as I am fully human. I feel newly alive in this realization and so very grateful for it. And from Genesis 28, then Jacob woke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." And this is the daily word for today, realize.
So with a sense of love, peace, gratitude, we allow ourselves to enter into a place of silence, where we recognize the presence of God within us, around us, through us, in everyone and everything. You're invited to close your outer eyes if you'd like. Take a couple of deep, cleansing breaths. Simply allowing your breathing to find its own natural rhythm. The rhythm of life. Knowing that all beings are vibrating in the same way. That every heart is yearning for what our heart is yearning for. We are all so much like Jacob. Every once in a while realizing the presence of God and recognizing that we did not know it. God is here. The presence of the divine is here. Right now, right here, in this place. Within you, without you, around you, through you. What would it be like to realize this divine presence, this non-judgmental, unconditional love? What would it be like to know, to be aware that it is here all the time? Even in the midst of my fear, my doubt, my confusion. Even in the midst of my judgment, my prejudices, my anger, my annoyance. There is always a choice of compassion, peacefulness, serenity, guidance, love, joy. What would it be like to experience ourselves constantly drawn to those aspects of higher vibration, beyond the intellect, beyond the emotions? Knowing that even though we walk the earth in separate bodies, that we are all one. That beyond all judgment, beyond all fear, is the creator power of the divine that exists in each one of us. I am free. I am free. I am free. I release all that no longer serves me and open myself up to the truth of the divine presence that I am and that you are as well. Lord, that I may see. That I may see you in all things, that I might see myself as you see me, with the eyes of truth, the eyes of unconditional love. And let me, for at least a moment, rest in that space. And when you're ready to allow yourself to become aware of your breathing again, grounding yourself back into physical reality, taking another deep breath, stretching a bit, opening your eyes when you're ready. Realize on the deepest level of your being, I am free, I am free, I am free. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be free of suffering. May all beings remember who they are. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The doorway to the kingdom of heaven is the heart of a child. The power of being in the kingdom of heaven, not the power to control, the power to create. The power to create differently than what we might have created before. Because that's what freedom is about. Freedom is the act of creation. And the act of creation different than what I might have had before. For those of you who were around for our Sunday morning class, I was paraphrasing Leo Buscaglia years ago, who said, if you don't like the scene, get the heck off the stage. Metaphysically speaking, what we could say is, if you don't like the scene, you have the power to create another one. Oh, really? You know why you have the power to create? Because you created the one you didn't like in the first place. Not something we like to listen to so much. But you know, one of the things that I keep learning all the time and time again, is if it shows up, guess what? I created it. And if I created it, I can create something different. That is my true power. And that is true freedom. You know, there are all sorts of ways of describing the spiritual path. Feeling good, letting go of this, letting go of that, following this particular pathway, doing this, and it all, you know, all of those things, being joyful, being compassionate, being loving, being forgiving, all of those things are obviously tremendously viable. But if you sift all the way through all of those, there is one common denominator. Even when you look at, well, the spiritual path is all about compassion and loving one another, the spiritual path is all about freedom. Because if you have freedom, you have everything else. It's all there. And if you don't have freedom, it's going to be very, very difficult to have any of those other attributes you're looking for or trying to get a hold of. So what I realized, and I still fall into this trap, you know, I find a new book or a new workshop or a new song or a new this or a new that, I got to try that out. Maybe it's here, maybe it's there. And what I continually realize when I'm awake enough or aware enough is it's not about this, it's not about that, it's not even about love and compassion, it's about getting free. Because once you have gotten yourself free, everything else follows. Love follows, compassion. When I am free, I have the choice of loving, of being compassionate, of being joyful, of being all of those things that I'm looking for. Freedom is the ability to respond with love, forgiveness, gentleness, kindness, openness. They're all ways of doing this. It's the realization that I have choices in all of those areas of my life. And I don't know about you, but there's so many times when I don't even realize that I'm not free. I'm locked into a pattern of thought or behavior that's just sort of automatic pilot for me. I mean, one of my favorite book titles is by Sheldon Kopp. It's called Here I Am, Wasn't I? And every time I think about that, I go back in my mind and realize, you know, well, let's see, I went through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, where was I? Where was I in all of this? Where was my choice in all of this? Or was I just, because the moment I get up, I start going on automatic pilot because I start following exactly the same formula that I followed yesterday, the day before, the day before, the day before, the day before, the day before. Where am I in all of this? And it's not until I have a wake-up call, a moment of awareness, that I realize I have not been free today. How free am I today? But Sunday morning, I go to Unity. How free is that? Is it really? One of the mystic Gurdjieff once said something wonderful. He said, you know, you have to realize you're in prison before you can get out. You have to realize the areas of your life that you're not free in order to make them free. But if you just think, you know, I got to be aware of the things we used to talk about this in Al-Anon an awful lot, the things I am giving my power away to, the people, places. How often does that happen during a day without me even realizing it? How often have I given my power away to someone that I can't stand? That's a real interesting conundrum. Giving your power away to someone you can't stand. And yet how many times do we wind up doing that? All I gotta do is flip on the news. Where's my power go? Do I have a choice? I don't even recognize I have a choice because I'm on automatic pilot. I see your face and I want to smash it in. Not yours, Miss Sir. Where's my freedom? Freedom is not what we think it is. From the ego's perspective, freedom is doing everything I want to do whenever I want to do it, with no consequences. Now, we all recognize what that's like, I think. But if we sit with that just even for a moment or so, we realize how ridiculous that is and how childish it is, because it's not possible. Unless I'm the only free person on planet Earth, okay, then I can keep doing whatever I want to do, and you're going to have to suffer the consequence. But, you know, if I look at, if that's my idea of freedom, you have the same idea of freedom, it's not going to be terribly long before my idea of freedom and your idea of freedom start clashing with one another. And then we're going to have to find out who's right. Doesn't work. So freedom from the perspective of the soul is very, very different from freedom from the perspective of the ego consciousness. When I realize the truth is within me and I'm not giving up anything in order to be free, then I really am free. When I first heard the title of this talk, my immediate thought was to go back to that wonderful spiritual master, Chris Christopherson. By the way, I think he is. He's a classic one-liners. One of the most classic one-liners is, freedom's just another word, and nothing left to lose. And I thought that was so horrendous and so negative when I first heard it. And the longer I sat with it, I got this image of Buddha dancing around singing this song to himself, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Because that's exactly what it is. Freedom is being free of all attachment. There's nothing that's tying me down. Nothing is holding me, not even my own thoughts about myself, not my thoughts about you, not your thoughts about me. Freedom's just, I've got nothing to lose because I didn't have anything to begin with. Is this my body? Is this my church? Is this my sermon? Is this my moment? Of course not. How ridiculous. It's ours. And it's not even just ours. It's all those spiritual beings who are yearning for exactly the same thing we're yearning for, even though the outsides might look different. How free are you today? How free am I today? How much stuff am I carrying with me? You know, it's interesting that the Latin word for baggage is impedimenta. I remembered that from freshman Latin class. Very few things I remembered from that, but that was one that stuck with me. And that's exactly what the baggage is impediments. How much baggage are you carrying with you? Have you let go of any of it, or are you collecting more? I don't know about you, but I'm getting older every minute. And I'm getting a little bit more tired of carrying so much baggage around with me. Can I let go of some? Can I let go? Can I even begin to start letting go of stuff that no longer serves me? Patterns of thought and behavior that just, they might have served me at one time in my life, but they just don't work anymore. Can I let them go? Can I be free of those things that I need to be free of? When I reach this particular time in my life, can I begin to let go of those things that I no longer need, or am I just collecting more stuff? And am I going to wind up like Thoreau at the end of his life said, "Oh God, to have reached the point of death and to realize that I have never lived, that all I've done is collected more baggage. How free am I?" Thomas Merton translated this from the Chinese years and years ago. It was called a poem called The Archer. When the archer is shooting for nothing, he has all of his skill. If he shoots for a brass buckle, he is already nervous. If he shoots for a prize of gold, he goes blind or sees two targets. He's out of his mind. His skill has not changed, but the prize divides him. He cares. He thinks more of winning than of shooting, and the need to win drains him of power. I came across something like that personally. A couple of weeks ago, Phil asked me to do some music for a Sunday service, and I became so attached to my performance that I lost it. I became so attached to what I thought other people might want that I lost it. I was shooting for a brass buckle or prize of gold, and I went nuts. I saw two targets. I went out of my mind. How often does that happen to us during a day without even realizing it? How many times have I become, I'm not sure why I'm in the Al-Anon mode this morning, but I guess I am. One of the things they say in Al-Anon is plan plans, not results. Never get attached to the results you think ought to happen, because that's like praying for something and saying, well, here's how it's going to be answered this way. And so I'm over here looking for the answer, and the answer's happening over there. I'm attached to the way I think it should be. It's only my ego consciousness that's attached to that. It's not my true self. How free am I? What is freedom? We were watching America's Got Talent a couple of weeks ago. There was a young lady that got on, just glowed. And one of the interviewers asked her what was going on in her life, and she said that she was diagnosed with terminal cancer. She said this. Her stage name is Nightbird, which I love. It's important that everyone knows I'm so much more than the bad things that happen to me. It's important that everyone knows I am so much more than the bad things that happen to me. That's freedom. When Margot and I bought our first home, being the rather compulsive person I am, I made up a schedule about how we were going to clean the house and who was going to do what. And so on the first time when I pulled out this list, I said, well, Margot, you can clean the living room and I'll do the kitchen. And we were living in a tri-level house, so I could look over this balcony railing to look from the kitchen down into the living room. So I'm polishing this and doing that, cleaning the refrigerator, just about getting ready to clean the floor. And I think to myself, what the hell Margot's doing? And I look over the railing, and she's sitting on the couch reading Time magazine. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm pausing. I said, you can't pause until you finish. It's my rule, right? You can't pause. Pausing is freedom. Not pausing was going along with the rules I had invented for myself in my head that I thought you had to obey. Margot's a great one for teaching. You don't do, that's just a rule you made up. I didn't know I even made it up. I didn't know I wasn't free. Sometimes I don't know that I'm not free until I'm faced with it, right in the face. Serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity, that's freedom. Asking for help, that's freedom. What situations in my life do I experience myself as being the most free? That would be a really great direction to go in. Instead of analyzing your life and saying, where am I not free? What areas in my life am I experiencing myself as being the most free? Or another way of saying that, where is God? Where is love most obvious to me or for me? And then take a moment just to listen to the answers. And then when you get some answers to those questions or those observations, and say, how can I begin to apply that to the rest of my life? What are some things, areas in my life that sort of suck the life out of me, that suck me dry? How can I bring that love of freedom, that sense of openness, that sense of awareness, how can I bring that into the picture for me? Listen to those answers to those questions. That's freedom. Albert Schweitzer once said, if ever there is a man or a woman who is lost, alone, afraid, or hungry, he is my responsibility. That's freedom. Doesn't sound like freedom to the ego, but that is freedom to the soul. Whoever needs me, I am there. Am I giving up anything? Only on my ego consciousness level, my personality self, am I giving something that I think is important. How many times have we done that, of giving up something we thought was important to allow something loving or something compassionate or something forgiving to come into our life and realize, holy smoke, why was I holding on to that when I could see love instead of this. I could see peace instead of this. I could experience joy instead of this. How free am I? That wonderful Lady Nightbird ended her session by saying this. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore until you decide to be happy. That's freedom. What is freedom for you today, this morning, or early this afternoon? What's it going to be like? What's it going to be like if you could paint the picture of this afternoon's freedom for yourself? Is it going to look any different from what you planned? From what you think you should do? How open am I to freedom? How open am I to grace? How open am I to the truth of who I am? And once I am able to be open to the truth of who I am, what some people would refer to as the freedom of the sons and daughters of God, when I'm open to that as being my truth, how open then am I to seeing the truth and that freedom in you? My grandson Finn has started calling me Gerry instead of Grandpa Gerry. At first I was a little bit insulted by that. And then I realized he was changing the rules. He was changing the roles we have. He was saying, I don't want you to be my grandfather, I want you to be my friend. I want to look you in the, well, now he can't, he's taller than I am right now. Now I can look you in the eye and say, I love you. Not as a grandfather, not because I should, but because I do. I said, wow. And I had to say that out loud. What a gift. How free am I today? How am I going to honor somebody else's freedom today when it gets in the way of my ego consciousness? Can I be free enough to allow you to be free? Can I be free enough to allow you to be free? Can I be free enough to allow myself to be free? May all beings be at peace. May all beings be free of suffering. May all beings remember who they are. God bless.
you for your patience. You will enjoy it more. The first song that we sang, I wanted to let you all know that was really special to my heart. That was a song written by Joyce Trammell, who a lot of you all remember as our choir director here at Unity for many, many years. Very dear friend. We sang together for more than 20 years, and she passed away sadly at the beginning of this year. So we miss her very much, but we were delighted to sing that song for you because we know her music will live on forever. The next two songs that we're going to play for you are instrumentals. The first one is beautiful waltz. I love waltzes, called Shibeg Shimur, meaning small fairy mound, big fairy mound. It's an Irish folk tune written by O'Carolan, and the title uses the word she, spelled S-I, which is the Irish Gaelic for fairy mound. The second tune is called Miss McLeod's Reel. It is another Irish tune that has nothing whatsoever to do with fairies that I know of. There is freedom in the spirit here too, so feel free to dance if the spirit moves you.
that time of giving of our tithes and offerings. So if you're going to do that today, in honor or to be mindful of the CDC guidelines, looks like our ushers are prepared to take up the offering physically today. So if you would take your offering in your hand, and let's bless it with our prosperity proclamation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And thank you. While they're doing that, I will go ahead and go with the announcements. One big announcement, thanks to Dottie Russell and John Russell, one of their sons fixed our elevator. So thank you to Dottie and John and their son that works at Murphy Elevator. And we have a very tricky elevator. It's like an old-time freight elevator, and we've had companies come in over the months, and some kind of special part that they needed, they were going to have to make the special part, and it was going to be a big to-do. So Spirit works in mysterious ways. All right, also we are beginning our formal minister search for our permanent senior minister. Reverend Valerie has been our interim senior minister. And if you would like to participate in that search committee or to serve as the chairperson of that committee, our board liaison is Dave Fraley. So if you know Dave, you can seek him out. If you would like to email him to be a part of that, that is vicepres, P-R-E-S, at unityoflouisville.org. He is here today. Oh, I didn't see him. Hey, Dave, he usually sits over here. He is here, so you can, and he's kind of waving at you if you want to connect with Dave afterwards. Thank you. Also, we have Fillmore Prayer Circles training on Monday, August the 2nd, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. That will be in the chapel and also on Zoom. We have a fireside chat this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. You can register, that's going to be through Zoom. You can register online through the Unity website at www.unityoflouisville.org. The fireside chats are a monthly opportunity to talk with the board and also the Reverend Valerie about Unity of Louisville. So you can register online, and that will send you the link to Zoom. I know many of you participated in the special community meeting that we had yesterday. So if anyone didn't get a chance to participate, or I know we had technology issues also, so there's another opportunity for you to connect with the board and to talk with us. And last, we have, if you're interested in membership in Unity of Louisville, there is an opportunity to do that, to learn about the Unity movement, to learn about Unity of Louisville, and also to complete a member profile on August the 22nd from 12:30 to 2:30. Thank you. And now we are ready for you to stand for our prayer for protection.
Kids on.
You're taking
No, they're
today.
there.
Okay, we have our kids. Our youth are here and coming up front today. So we would like to sing our song for our children. This little light of mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Where I go, I'm gonna let it shine. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am